Apple's new iPhones may represent the most significant improvements in years, according to growing iPhone 14 speculations. According to the rumors thus far, in this video we going to cover the latest updates coming to the upcoming iPhone 14. Welcome to TECHFRONTER. On this channel, we discuss the best topics on the best tech and software out there right now. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome content, so let's get into it. The iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max will have a more streamlined new look, a quicker A16 Bionic CPU, and a crisper new main 48MP camera. The small is anticipated to be discontinued in favor of a new 6.7-inch iPhone 14 Max, which might also affect the normal iPhone 14 lineup. However, given that it may feature a very similar design to the Pro's opens in new tab, and perhaps even last year's A15 Bionic CPU, we're also concerned that the iPhone the 14th may be somewhat boring in comparison. Here are the details we now know about the iPhone 14 and why it is predicted to be one of Apple's most popular products in 2022, and what we hope to see from the upcoming flagships. And battery life for the iPhone 14. According to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple may decide to limit the new A16 Bionic chip to the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone Pro Max opens in new tab. Accordingly, the A15 Bionic, which debuted a year ago, would power the regular iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Max. Now that tipster Yogesh Brar has confirmed this depressing spec rumor, the difference between the regular iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max is even greater. The iPhone 14 will reportedly feature an A15 Bionic rather than enhanced silicon, according to another tipper, Leaks Apple Pro, who notes, later this year, Apple will contemplate employing the A15 in its non-Pro iPhones. The Cupertino-based business, though, intends to refer to it as the A16 chip. Another report, citing knowledgeable sources, claimed that the iPhone 14 would use the same A15 Bionic chipset that powers the iPhone 13 Pro models from this year. This further complicated the plot. According to teardowns, the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini employ 4GB of RAM, whereas that chip has 6GB of RAM. That would therefore be a form of update, though perhaps not the one we'd anticipate. The new A16 Bionic chip will only be available in the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max, according to market research firm TrendForce opens in new tab. Apple may be attempting to better separate the normal and Pro iPhone lines in addition to the present chip shortage, which may account for some of this. If you're curious about how much additional power the A16 might provide, several benchmarks that have leaked may be able to provide some insight. All four iPhone 14 models, according to Kuo, will contain 6GB RAM, an increase from the 4GB found in the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Small. The Pro versions, on the other hand, are said to have faster and more effective LPDDR5 RAM, while the base models reportedly employ LPDDR4X RAM like the current iPhone 13 range. All four iPhone 14 models will have 6GB of RAM, according to analyst Jeff Ku's prediction. We anticipate Apple will maintain the storage options it now offers for the iPhone 13 range, which start at 128GB and go all the way up to 1TB for the Pro models. According to statements made by analyst Emma Moore-McClune of Global Date, Apple may also release an iPhone 14 with an eSIM-only option. The decision would increase the appeal of the iPhone among consumers who require dual SIM functionality, such as business users and international tourists. The most recent rumors regarding the iPhone 14 is that the computing capabilities of the more expensive models can be estimated from purported performance evaluations for the iPhone 14 Pro. All iPhone 14 models are rumored to receive two significant selfie camera enhancements. We get a clear view of the potential design changes in the upcoming phones thanks to a video showing mock iPhone 14 units. The iPhone 14 Max and iPhone 14 Pro Max could be suffering delays, although ideally, it won't imply a late launch. The enhancements coming to the iPhone 14 and other iOS 16-enabled devices were showcased during the WWDC preview of iOS 16. Although the feature is expected to be limited to the Pro versions, code in the iOS 16 beta implies the iPhone 14 will gain an always-on display. Date and price of the upcoming iPhone 14. According to the most recent rumor, the release date for the iPhone 14 is predicted to be September 13th. That date seems to align with other rumors and Apple's normal cycle of iPhone launches. Apple appears to be taking efforts to reduce the likelihood that the iPhone 14 range would experience lengthy wait times due to production interruption among its major suppliers, given the damage the coronavirus pandemic has caused on supply chains. According to one rumor, COVID lockdowns in China are to blame for one of the 4 iPhone models being 3 weeks behind schedule, opens in new tab. Leaks Apple Pro, a reasonably trustworthy leaker, claims that 3 of the 4 iPhone 14 versions are expected to see price increases. The MSRP of the new iPhone 14 Max is anticipated to be $899, while the basic iPhone 14 will likely remain at $799. However, the iPhone 14 Pro may cost $1,099, an increase of $100 from the $999 iPhone 13 Pro. And the price of the iPhone 14 Pro Max might rise similarly, reaching $1,199. We hope it's not true because this comparatively large jump in launch pricing would hurt your wallet. The normal iPhone 14 Pro will cost $1,099, according to a different leaker. Shadow leak on Twitter opens in new tab. It is therefore possible that the Pros will be more expensive this year. Cameras on the iPhone 14. The speculations around the iPhone 14 cameras are starting to surface more frequently, and they're starting to sound fairly intriguing. According to one rumor from Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, the 4.8MP primary sensor for the iPhone 14 Pro versions could represent a significant improvement over the iPhone 13's 1.2MP camera. Taiwanese research group TrendForce supports the 4.8MP main camera claim, indicating that Apple is once again concerned with megapixels, at least when it comes to the company's Pro phones. However, a regular Apple insider predicts that the basic iPhone 14 models would maintain their 1.2MP cameras, with the Pro versions being the only ones predicted to have a 4.8MP main camera. A larger main sensor will be beneficial regardless of how precise it turns out to be. But given that the iPhone falls short of devices like the Samsung Galaxy S21, we're especially interested in an enhanced telephoto lens. In fact, it would be quite cool if Apple took a page out of the Galaxy S21 Ultra's book and decided to include a secondary telephoto camera with, perhaps, a 10x optical zoom. According to an Apple patent, the company is developing a periscope-style zoom camera, which might appear on the iPhone 14 or at the very least the Pro models. The periscope camera won't be available until the iPhone 15 in 2023, according to Ming-Chi Kuo today. All models of the iPhone 14 are expected to receive an updated front-facing camera, which is expected to have a bigger aperture f1.9 versus f2.2 on the current iPhone, 6-part lenses up from 5-part lenses, and built-in autofocus, according to a more recent update from Kuo. Together, these should make it easier to maintain focus and reduce image distortion while taking brighter pictures and videos. Software for iPhone 14. The iPhone 14 will debut with a new version of Apple's iOS software when it debuts in the autumn, assuming Apple follows the schedule it has followed for the better part of a decade. Since iOS 15 is the current version, iOS 16 is almost certainly coming soon. Following Apple's preview of iOS 16, we now know what features the iPhone 14 will have. The new software also adds the ability to edit messages after you send them, changes to Maps and Wallet, a safety check feature, and more. It also introduces the ability to add widgets to the lock screen, a precursor to the always-on display support rumored for the iPhone 14 Pro. In comparison to the iPhone 14 Pro, the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max appear to be in a league of their own based on all of the current rumors. We say that because telephoto zooms are once more supposed to be offered only by professionals. Additionally, The rumored in-display Touch ID on the next iPhone 14 Pros would eliminate the notch in favor of a display with a punch hole. Additionally, the 4.8MP main camera on the iPhone 14 Pro versions will apparently be far sharper than the 1.2MP sensor anticipated for the standard iPhone 14. Additionally, it's probable that the iPhone 14 Pros will be the only models to include USB-C connectivity rather than a Lightning socket. The A16 Bionic Silicon may power the iPhone 14 Pro, but the iPhone 14 is said to be running on the A15 Bionic Silicon, which is 1 year old. For more details on the alleged differences, see our comparison of the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro. Analyst Jeff Pu, though, thinks that Apple might give each of the 4 iPhone 14 variants a 120Hz display this time around and 6GB of RAM. What we hope to see with the iPhone 14. Based on which speculations are essential for Apple's next fall smartphones, we've ranked the iPhone 14 rumors. But here's a summary of what the iPhone 14 is expected to offer. Here's what the iPhone SE 2022 has to say about the iPhone 14 now that it has been released. A new style. The iPhone 14 looks quite nice in processor renders. However, there hasn't been a significant change in Apple's industrial design aesthetic. Apple undoubtedly produces some of the most attractive smartphones available, but we'd like to see if the company could advance phone design even further. Perhaps the iPhone 14 range will include the hotly anticipated iPhone Flip foldable phone. No notch. The iPhone 14 might have a notch-free display, and we hope the rumors are true. So long as it didn't affect image or Face ID performance, we'd like to see an under-display camera. Touch ID. Even if Touch ID isn't implemented via an in-display sensor, we'd be very confident that Apple would bring it back for the iPhone 14. Maybe a Touch ID sensor, similar to the one on the iPad Air, may be built inside the side-mounted power button. Smarter features. Although the Apple A-series semiconductors have always been powerful, we'd like to see Apple focus more on AI, much like the Google Pixel 6 is expected to with its Tensor chip. By doing this, we can create a Siri that is more intelligent, responsive, and capable of competing with the Google Assistant. We can also create features that are more intelligent and serve up information or services to iPhone 14 users when they need them. Amazing camera ability. One of the best camera phones available is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but we'd want to see Apple advance the hardware and software even further. The Pro Max currently has a modest edge over devices like the Google Pixel 6 and Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. We'd like to see Apple deliver a camera and a phone photography experience with the iPhone 14 that completely destroys Android competitors, compelling them to step up their photography game with their next-generation phones. It would also be beneficial to catch up on the zoom front.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. All of the product links are in the description below.